I would leave that to the Babylonians who
Babylonians?
They're the ones who kind of like really brought astrology to the fore in a way.
How did they figure this out?
That I can't tell you. I don't know how it works, but I know that it does work.
Right.
Are you interviewing anyone?
Yeah, or not right now, but...
Oh, not now?
I would love to do it right now, yeah. That's good.
I'm an astrologer, so...
You are an astrologer?
I'm an astrologer.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, how do we play?
Do you mind if I record? Is that all right?
Please.
Thank you. I'll just take that.
I was super excited.
Okay, so... Gotta get your first name?
My name is Danny.
Danny, gotcha.
Last name...
First name's fine.
Okay.
So my name is Reed. Nice
Hi,
to
Reed.
meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so... Okay, good. So, 5... So you're an astrologer?
I'm an astrologer, yes.
You picked, is astrology real?
Yes.
I assume that's a yes?
I didn't even read all the other questions. I saw that, my eye went right to it. Without a doubt, astrology is real.
Okay, without a doubt. What is astrology?
Well, to me, astrology, I mean, you get a lot of different people saying a lot of different things about it. Obviously, with any kind of pseudoscience, there's so many differing opinions. But astrology, to me, is the study of how the stars and the planets affect the daily lives, personalities, the becoming of anything that you're studying.
So the stars and the planets, they affect us, our personalities?
Yes. You know, I don't really believe much in the daily horoscope unless you look at an individual's birth chart and you take their time of birth, their date of birth, and the city that they're born in. You look at where the planets and the signs were at the time of, all of that.
So it depends on their place,
Yes.
date,
Yes.
the time.
But if we're talking cookbook astrology, where you're looking like in a newspaper to see a horoscope, I don't believe in that.
Cookbook astrology.
Yeah, that's kind of a term for if you're looking up like, oh, what is a Virgo? What is an Aries? And you're looking up the very general sense. But like, let's say, when's your birthday?
May 18th,
May 18th.
1987.
So you would be a Gemini? No, Taurus.
Taurus.
You're Taurus. Right on the cusp, though. You're approaching that
Okay.
breaking point. So Taurus.
So what does that mean about me?
Okay, so Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. So it's like the most romantic sign. It's the most sensual sign. But Taurus is more focused on sensuality rather than like beauty and passion with another person. It's more about creating and beatifying their surroundings. Most people know Taurus as like the most stubborn sign of the zodiac, but they're forgetting to like implement the fact that Tauruses are builders. They're people who want to create a beautiful surrounding. They're very fixed on what they're building because it's fixed earth. So it's kind of like a mountain, if you will.
They're fixed, they're stubborn.
Yes.
But they're also, they want to create a beautiful surrounding.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot of Tauruses, like Adele is a Taurus. She's got a phenomenal voice. They're ruled by the throat and speaking. We're doing an interview right now. It's a very Taurus.
So there's like 7.5 billion people on the planet.
Sure.
Of the subset of people who were born in that time range, what percentage of those people have these qualities about them?
I can't give you the facts on that, but that's why I'm asking what day is your birthday.
Yeah. Does astrology predict 100% of those people?
I can't tell you that either. All I can tell you is from my experience, the people that I've met and the people that I've encountered, people typically follow the qualities of their sign.
Typically follow the qualities.
Yeah, I mean, I would say without a doubt, like anytime I meet someone or I'm doing a reading for a client, like for me, I'm a Pisces. We're the most emotional sign. We're kind of like into the psychic realms, or we're into the occult, or we are generally interested in astrology. And Pisces is the sign of compassion and open-mindedness. And I guess I want to get back to the question, though, is astrology real?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, what's real about astrology is when you look at the way that the planets fall under someone's birth sign, you're really seeing the way that their personality is expressed.
What do you mean the way planets fall?
So like you're born on May 18th, so that would be your sun sign. That's where the sun was in Western astrology. If you know, Western astrology being like tropical astrology, it's not necessarily following where the constellations are
where
falling.
The sun was? You mean where the Earth was in relation to the sun?
Yes.
Okay.
So tropically, the sun was in the sign of Taurus at the time of your birth. So you're going to exude that. But the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So you can have two people who are born, in the same week. that will have very similar planet structures, but the moon is your inner emotional realm, where the sun is your external emotional, like it's your ego, it's what you like to do, it's,
The moon is your inner emotional
yes,
realm.
it's how you reflect on things, it's how you feel internally. So,
So we would have to look up the history of where the moon was to
well, if
figure
I
that
took
out?
your, time of birth, your birthday, and the city that you were born in, I would have access to like your soul's blueprint. So
A
that would
soul's
be,
blueprint.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
kind of like, that's what your birth chart is. It's the blueprint of your soul. It's the karma you're coming in with. It's what you're looking to build in this lifetime.
The karma you're coming in with?
Yes.
People's karma differs based on when they're born and where they're born?
I think that's determined before you're born. I believe in multiple lifetimes. So
Oh,
I think,
reincarnation?
yeah. I believe that either we choose or we're assigned a lifetime to live in order to learn, you
Okay.
know?
Gotcha. So what would you say is the main reason why this is the case? You believe
Um,
this is the case?
Well, if we talk about like the psychologist Carl Jung, he
Mm-hmm.
talks about the concept of synchronicity, and it's the idea that everything in the universe is tied together, and it's the way that like this chance encounter of us happening. It's not predetermined, but it actually fits perfectly. It's like the concept of symbiosis. You are an interviewer, and I am someone who loves the zodiac, and therefore my purpose and your purpose are colliding in a way that's complementary.
Hmm.
And we might not agree that astrology is real or not, but we are agreeing that we both want to have this interview right now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, so
Yeah.
so in a way, it's like completing the cycle of life. In a way.
So this situation here is a synchronous situation?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I walked up here, I'm hiking with my friend, and you're giving interviews. My eye darts directly to, is astrology real?
Mm-hmm.
So you put out a wide range of topics, but in a way you are sending out a signal. And this is what we do as people. This is kind of what our astrology does too, is our planets and our stars and everything that we're born in gives off a signal, and people are either attracted or repelled by that signal.
Hmm.
And I mean, I was attracted enough to come here, and it's like the cycle of life,
Mm-hmm.
synchronicity. In a way, this is how astrology works. It's signals. It's the chemistry of your body is somehow linked with your stars, or it's very synchronous. Everything about a person, everything about a being is their stars, is their biology. It's in who we are, and I think people who are quite rational and people who are quite emotional, on some level, we're all agreeing about the same things. We're just we're just viewing them through a different lens.
Yeah, so synchronous events, this is a reason why astrology is real, because in some way the planets were affected or made it possible that these
Sure.
events would happen.
Well, I don't know if it's them making it possible, but I think, like, why is anyone drawn to anything? You know, what is the inherent need within a person to do anything? And I think
Hmm.
astrology is in line with a person's need.
Why are people drawn to things?
Yes. Like, let me
Uh-huh.
explain it this
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So, me being a 25-year-old gay male, I have
Mm-hmm.
a man who I'm in love with, who is a 53-year-old male.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, in our astrology chart, everything is in opposition. So, on some level, we are creating this call and response. And everything that I am, he is not, and vice versa. And yet, we are so attracted to each other. And I mean, I felt that when I met him, but then I also looked into the astrology of it, and there was a lot of what they call karmic placements. It's when your soul is like finding a familiar soul that's meant to teach you a very deep lesson in this lifetime.
So you met your boyfriend who's much older than you, and you felt astrology explained why you felt so strongly towards
Yeah,
him?
I don't think I think it explains it. I don't know if it is the reason for us. Well, actually, I guess it would be on some level the reason that we are attracted to each other. It's because um, I consider myself to be feminine in many ways, but internally I have this masculinity. And he is very masculine, but and internally he's got this deep femininity.
Mm.
So it's like, and we have, I've got 3 planets in Pisces, and the opposing sign to Pisces is Virgo. He's got 4 planets in Virgo. So this is like this really deep opposition. It's very, opposites can either repel or attract.
Mm.
So the two of us we're magnetized to each other. And there's a number of other oppositions that we have as well. And to me, it's amazing how magnetic it truly is and how it shows up in the astrology. And then there's a number of other very peculiar things in our relationship that show up there as well.
So what I'm hearing you say is astrology as a model predicts people who are together will most likely be opposites.
No, I think everybody has a different love map in a way.
Okay.
But for me, I mean, I like the opposition. I like a challenge, you know.
So astrology doesn't predict people will most likely be opposites.
What astrology does is it can tell you what the relationship will look like and what the strengths and the challenges of that relationship will be. And like I said, everybody's love map is different. So I think people are looking for something that's familiar in their love map. Like they really want to find something that might relate to how they were raised or something that they find attractive. Does that make sense?
I think so. So what's a love map? Well, how does that relate to astrology?
That's kind of like, it's not directly related, but it's if we talk about like in astrology, you get a sign for each planet. So, you know, the placement of Venus, Mars, and the moon affect, like Venus being what you find beautiful and what you find sociable and sensual and, you know, what you enjoy.
Yeah. Why is that the case?
Because the planet Venus in synchronicity represents love and beauty and sensuality. And
how did this connection become about?
I would leave that to the Babylonians who
Babylonians?
They're the ones who kind of like really brought astrology to the fore in a way.
How did they figure this out?
That I can't tell you. I don't know how it works, but I know that it does work, and that would completely discredit me to anybody who's like coming from a rational point of view. But to me, you can observe something without knowing how it works to see the truth in it.
Yeah. Does anyone believe anything that they think works, but turns out they're mistaken about it being actually true?
I'm sure there's people out there.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not saying it's the case, but if astrology was like this, is there any way you could tell?
You know, I am an astrologer, and I'm going to say I probably have a large confirmation bias. Anything we choose to believe, we find the truth in. But, you know, I'm sure I could start saying the sky is red, or anyone could start saying the sky is red, and they're going to see it somehow.
They're going to see the sky as red?
I'm sure they'll find a way, you know, but that's confirmation bias. But to me, astrology is real. I find the truth in it. I find that life blueprint really comes through.
If someone came up to the table and said the sky is red, would it actually be the case that the sky is red?
I mean, I'm not inside their mind or their perception, so the sky is not red to me. Astrology might not be real to you. But that doesn't take away that the subjective reality of that person may or may not be true.
Yeah, so he has his own subjective reality.
Yes.
Does that subjective reality change actual reality?
Personally, I think it does.
It does?
Yeah, I think so. But
like, there's some Tic Tacs in this box.
Sure.
It's either even or odd number of Tic Tacs, I'm sure.
Sure.
If I had a subjective reality that it's even and you had a subjective reality that it's odd, could we both be correct at the same time?
That's quite a brain teaser. I don't know.
Could you change the objective reality based on your subjective reality of this?
This is a good question. I'm sure there's somebody who could, but I don't think I could.
What do you mean by that?
Well, to say, like, it's perception. So if I were to say, like, the number of Tic Tacs in there was determined by how many Tic Tacs were considered a whole Tic Tac. So let's say there was a fragment of a Tic Tac in there.
Yeah, like
and that was considered
full whole Tic Tacs, not fragments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. I think the answer is no, but I think I'm a bit more open-minded.
What do you mean no? Like, could it change depending on who's looking at it, or?
Perception is everything to me, so.
So, depending on who walks up here, it could be a different number?
Yeah. I'm going to say yes. And
How could that be the case?
That's probably not the answer that most people would agree with, but it's in a very abstract way, yes. Obviously, we could sit here and pull the Tic Tacs out and count them.
Yeah, this is testable.
Yes, it is testable.
Like, if someone came up and said it's odd, we could pour it out and test.
Right,
And
absolutely.
then they could go on.
And
Another
I'm going to
person
say I
could go on.
recognize that,
Yeah,
but I'm
we
still
could do this with 1,000 people.
sure.
If it all turned out to be odd every time, would that give us a reasonable way to tell if it's odd?
I suppose.
Okay.
Reasonable, yes, but be all, end all, no. I think there's a million ways to
Yeah.
look at any
Yeah,
subject.
all those people could still be mistaken, but it seems highly plausible.
Sure,
It's an odd
sure.
number.
Yes.
Um,
Well, also, last thing I really want to touch upon is Carl Jung. He did a study where he took married couples, and he took 493 or 83, I don't remember the exact number, of married couples, and he tested their astrology charts to see whether or not they were compatible for marriage. And what they found through the study, and you can find it online. I don't have the information on me, but look up Carl Jung marriage study. You can find that through testing the charts of these married people, he found that the people who were conducive to marriage were actually 3 times more likely to have a beneficial astrology chart that said marriage, and 3 times less likely to have a beneficial astrology chart towards marriage. And then the possibility of that happening by chance was like 1 in 400,000 or 4 million or something like that.
Okay. So he did an experiment where he tested different astrology charts with people, and the people who had compatible charts had a better marriage.
Yeah,
Okay. So
and a longer lasting marriage.
that seems a longer lasting. That seems testable.
Yeah, and I would love to replicate this study in modern day.
Yeah.
Like, that would...
If that failed to replicate somehow, if we did that again with like 10,000
Yeah.
people, would that change your confidence about astrology?
That might change my confidence about astrology. I would like to test that.
Oh, so there's something that could change your mind?
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. I believe there's a million ways to perceive anything, but I would love to test it because I'm under the impression that it's real.
So so you're not totally confirmation biased. There's a way to disconfirm it in your mind.
Sure. I mean, if there was a way to disconfirm it, yeah, I'm curious to look into it.
If you found some sufficient way to disconfirm it, how would your life change?
That's a really good question. My life is centered around the zodiac. I've been studying it since I was 11 years old. I've just been fascinated. I come from a family of people who don't believe in spirituality in that way at all. It's just something that inherently I was drawn to. But in my astrology chart, I have all these placements that say I'm a spiritual, occultist, zodiac interested person.
Yeah. If it was disconfirmed, what would be like the one thing missing from your life?
I'd have to find a new reason or something new to brain chew on all day.
Something just to
Yeah,
brain chew on?
Yeah, because that's what astrology is for me. It's all theory. I went to film school for film theory, so I like to theorize about things. It's all about the hypothetical. You know?
Gotcha. So there's stuff that could change your mind?
Yeah, I'd be interested in the study. I don't know if it would absolutely change my mind, but it'd be really interesting it would give me something to think about deeper.
Okay, so what's your current confidence about it?
Is astrology real? I'm going to say 100% yes.
100.
Yeah, I'm at 100.
Okay, well, thank you, Denny.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
That was very
Thank
nice.
you so much.
Yeah.
It's longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do I grab a coffee?
Yeah.